Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back, everyone. Always learn so much from her when it comes to Chinese medicine, acupuncture, herbals, but like many people in her field where you're looking to help others, always looking to advance your career or thirsty for knowledge. To my surprise, today I find out that she is also practicing hypnosis. Got certified in that. We're going to learn about that today. For me, game changer in my life. Hypnotherapy, I can't speak higher about it. Just fantastic. And she is out of New York City. Dr. Kelly joins us on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Steve. How are you doing?
Very well, very well. Congratulations on the certification on hypnosis.
Thank you.
Wow. So I'm thinking, well, even before we go there, what was your motivation to study hypnosis?
So I have a lot of patients who have the trauma, emotional trauma from their childhood. Then they have pain, they have anger, fear, sadness that bother them.
Yeah.
I use acupuncture, it did help. That's it for sure. But the pain come back. So I'm thinking, since the deep root is the emotional trauma from the childhood, how can I remove, the cause, the root cause quicker and faster and deeper so the pain not come back? That's why I went to get my certification of being hypnotherapist.
I can tell you, and like everybody else, or many, there's an aversion to it because you don't fully understand it, and we're going to get into that in just a moment. But to your point, the first time, by the way, I've only had hypnotherapy virtually, and the first time I had it, knowing what you said, I said to the hypnotherapist, take me right back to my childhood. Let's go. Because it's all there. Not that I had a bad childhood, but we all have stuff that came up in our childhood or holding on to certain things based on beliefs as a child that don't support us now as adults. So that's what we did. We went back to my childhood. And it was very impactful. Got to tell you, I'll never forget it. And I'm probably due for more sessions. So let's talk about some of the things that people think. You're not controlling somebody's mind when they're under hypnosis, correct?
Yes, they are totally aware. It's not when you're doing hypnosis, you're going to falling asleep. You don't know what's going on. Actually, the whole process, you are aware. So you're just in a state of deeply relaxed. But you are aware what's going on. And we cannot do anything to against your value or your belief. So it's all your thing. We just give, help you to get to the stage of deeply relaxed. So don't need to worry about it. We can do something to against your own value. No, we cannot.
I think a lot of this is because many of us have seen movies and TV shows or the stage hypnotist that brings people up and makes you bark like a dog, cluck like a chicken. And that's fine if you want to do that. But if you don't, you're not going to. Same thing as if somebody is hypnotized by yourself and they're afraid that you might ask for sensitive information like credit cards, social security numbers and everything. Nobody's going to give that to you unless they actually wanted to. And if they want to, that's a totally different thing. That's your choice. But you can't make somebody do something that they don't want to do. How about some of the things that hypnosis can help us out with? Smoking, probably one of the top things people talk about. What about some of the other things?
For example, let's talk about one of the example. So there is a lady who got into like very bad relationship with her ex-husband. Her ex-husband like abused her, she got a bunch of like concussion because her husband just dragged her hair like, bump onto the wall. So very bad relationship. And of course, nobody like that. Why you're gonna abuse? It's very bad. And so when she did hypnosis, actually it went back to several generations, back to her great great grandfather when they first came to like Missouri from another country. She said by that time, because they are almost like the only person, only group or person over there. It's like very farm, like nobody else. So to be able to survive, they have to kind of like, like brother and sister or something to be able to have babies, which is a bad thing, right? Doesn't matter you look at in which point of view, brother and sister shouldn't. That's just a bad thing. But by that time, it's kind of like they have no other choice to be able to survive. But somehow the trauma passed down to several generations to her. It's something happened to her grandfather, something happened to her mom. It's like chaos. Every generation has a similar thing. Like every generation has something about sex abuse stuff. Now it came to her generation. She want to change it. She feel very bad. So during the hypnosis, she realized it's when her first ancestor did this, they just because they want to survive. So there is nothing you should feel shame or guilty about it because by that time it's totally different. But for her generation, you don't need to do this anymore. You can marry somebody totally healthy, totally unrelated to you to have babies. And also, she got cervical cancer. So she want to have a baby, but because of cancer, she couldn't. She feel like, oh, I don't deserve to be a mom. I don't deserve to have a baby. So, but during the hypnosis, she released that shame, that guilt, and guess what? She hasn't had period for many months because of cervical cancer. The next day, she got her period.
Wow. It's beautiful. It's amazing how this all works. And it goes back to what I understand in our subconscious. It's called limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs. So if you take the limiting part out, the beliefs that we have that came from childhood, from different scenarios, they are limiting us as adults. But it could be your parents said something to you once when you were 6 years old. And then maybe a friend said something to you and it made you think that, I'm not good enough. I'm not good. I always wanted to draw. And everybody, says, oh, well, that's a great painting, but the sky's really not green. It's blue. You could do better than that. So right away, you have this belief that, oh, well, I'm not good enough. I need to keep doing better. I need to keep doing better. That could turn you into a perfectionist. And now it's limiting your life because everything needs to be perfect. Nothing's perfect in life. Where did that come from? It came from your childhood, right?
Yes, actually, take myself as an example. So when my mom pregnant me, my parents wanted a boy, but I'm a girl. So my parents, especially my dad, was very disappointed. Like, I still remember when I was a child, my dad kept telling me, what if you're a boy? What if you're a boy? We're gonna have like a bigger like income, or we have a bigger company, blah, blah, blah. So actually, when I was a child, when he said that to me, I didn't feel that bad. But now, when I recall that, I feel pretty bad. And like you said, I am a person always think I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to be lazy. I'm not good enough to be led.
Yep.
So that idea always hung over in my mind. So that could trace back. Maybe already feel not good enough before I was born.
Well, there's a whole different topic there where the energy or your family lineage, these things we carry them into other generations. of whatever the beliefs they are. And as I understand it, you don't realize it as a kid that these little things you hear, even if you got bullied, that's going to set you back a little bit. Or could. Then other kids, they get bullied and it doesn't even matter to them. But it stays in your subconscious. It's like running Windows 95 in your brain when you should be using Windows 11 now. If that's the example I can come up with. I got to tell you, Dr. Kelly, when I did hypnotherapy, and I'm sure you've heard all different things from people you've worked with, but it was like watching a movie of my childhood. And it wasn't scenes that I didn't know of or see before, which I believe that can certainly come up in hypnotherapy. But when I saw them, it was me watching it on a screen, so to speak, but it was so clear. It was so clear. And the feeling came back of what it was like to be bullied, what it was like, mom, dad, things said, all of that. And then having that realization helps you heal from it and move forward from it. And I do want to address one thing you said, not good enough. It's my understanding from talking with and doing podcasts with therapists and so many other people, coaches, counselors, we all have that feeling in us that we're not good enough. All of us, every one of us, different levels of it. And it might be different in different areas of our lives, but it's all in us. And what a horrible way to go. It is. That's the way it is. So you got to get past that. What else do you want to share about hypnotherapy?
I want to say a lot of times we think something happened to me looks like have nothing to do with me. Like, for example, this lady, she always had car problem. Like, she drove to somewhere, car broke. She drove to somewhere, car broke. Happened to her almost all the time. She like, why this happened to me again and again? So during hypnosis, she found out when she was around like 3 something, her parents drove to somewhere with her and the car broke in the middle of the road. And of course, it's very frustrating, right?
And scary too. You're in the middle of the road, potentially. There's traffic, and somebody could hit us, right?
Exactly. And she felt like, oh, I'm only 3. I cannot help at all, but my parents are, so frustrating. So she felt very bad for her parents. So that feeling accompanied her for her almost her whole life. She had all the car problem, no, doesn't matter where she drove to. So, but after the hypnosis relief, she realized, she said, oh, I was only 3. It's not my responsibility to, fix the car when the car, had the problem. I shouldn't feel guilty or anything. So after that, she doesn't have the car problem anymore. So that the limiting belief stuff can really trap us, like make us have a lot of obstacles in our life. But if we release it, it's like before you release all the negative emotion, you carry like heavy bags and then you walk and run. But after release all the negative emotions, you are just yourself. You can walk faster, you can run faster, you can get to wherever much faster.
Yeah, it's so true. And here's another one. If people say, I'm never making any money. I'm never going to get ahead. I got to get my car fixed. Now I'm going to be behind on my rent or whatever it is. Maybe you have limiting beliefs about making money. How many parents say to their kids, hey, wait a minute, money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. No, we can't. No, hey. And let's say you got $10 in a birthday card. Save your money. What are you doing? Be careful with that. Don't buy candy with that. That can hold you back from making money because you have the belief that you can't. And I'll go hypothetical here, but you may be a salesperson and maybe you're trying to make a sale. You don't even know you're doing it, but you're derailing it or sabotaging that sale because of your limited belief, and you don't even realize it. I have a friend. This is her, wonderful person, does a lot of charity work, great connector of people, fantastic. She's a single mom, doesn't make a lot of money, and I know she would be a perfect candidate for hypnotherapy because she's shared things about her childhood, and her ex also used to say things about money. So I think she has this belief, oh, I'm not good enough. I don't deserve to make a lot of money. She doesn't even know she's thinking that. I really think she is, based on what she has told me. And it doesn't have to be from your childhood, but it's my belief that it starts in your childhood and then your subconscious is looking for evidence. So in her case, it was there that her ex says things about money. Oh, subconscious saying, oh, there's more evidence you can't make money. All right, so we're not going to make money. and that's how life goes. You're always behind. You're not getting the abundance. How about some of the other things that can help us out with hypnotherapy?
So basically, I think, emotional trauma for sure, right?
Sure.
Especially the person who knows, oh, when I was a child, my mom always verbal abuse me, say, oh, smart, so that kind of thing can really cause a lot of like pain. Like I talk about one of my patients, she had pain all over her body, but she's yoga teacher. She shouldn't, right? She stretch every day. She's flexible, but she had pain all over her body. And she definitely has emotional trauma from her mom, from her dad. So that's one thing we can help. Another thing is the fear. Like for example, I have this patient. She's beautiful. She's beautiful. She like sexy. She's successful also. So I would think that kind of person should have a lot of confidence,
Yep.
but she had fear all the time. Like, so that is another, like the fear. You mentioned a lot of us, we have it because when we were a child, our parents, to be honest, they don't really know how to educate us or how to talk to us, like
Yep.
you said. If our parents keep telling us, oh, we cannot afford that, we cannot afford that. So even you are very successful later on, you may still feel like, oh, I cannot afford that, I cannot afford that. So that limiting belief can, stop you to be more successful and, to be more confident. So we cannot say we can, release a lot of disease. For example, some person who have cancer, right? Just like what I mentioned about the latter lady who got cervical cancer. Well, you know, like it did happen to a lot of people. Actually, they have, whatever cancer, but next after the hypnosis, when they go back to see the doctor, the cancer cell disappear. But we cannot guarantee and we cannot say we can cure cancer. But it did happen to some people. So why? Because cancer is basically, some people explain like this. Like it's like they are so feared or angry or sad. They kind of like want to commit suicidal, but they don't do it consciously. Instead, they have cancer. Basic cancer means you kind of like, your own cell, eat your own cell, you kill yourself in that way. But all this actually from the negative emotions, which we think we didn't create that. We have nothing to do with that. But subconsciously, actually, it is. It's like the law of attraction, right? When you think about it, if you attract everything around you, what happened to you? So some people say, oh, there's a car accident. I didn't attract the car accident. I don't want the car accident to happen to me. It's another person's fault. He or she hate me. I have nothing to do. It's not my fault. But if you go to subconscious mind, there could be, oh, I don't like my job, but I have to. So then something happened. Then you have to, get rid of your job. Like there another example is this. There is a police officer who is a woman police officer. Her dad always wanted her to be a police officer, but she didn't like it. But somehow, to make her dad happy, she became a police officer, which she hates it every day. So one day, when she dealing with somebody, she got stabbed. She got basically disabled. She couldn't be a police officer anymore. It's like somehow in her subconscious mind, I don't want to be a police officer. I don't want to be a police officer. Boom, something happened. Yes, then you cannot be a police officer anymore because, basically you're disabled. So such kind of thing, to be honest, before hypnosis, we will never know, we will never can imagine. Actually, a lot of things, especially the bad things, looks like purely bad happen to us. There are some reason, there are some cause, and on the surface, looks like bad. But if you go to another layer, it could be a good thing.
We, based on our subconscious, can sabotage, self-sabotage, whatever we're doing, and we don't even realize it. And I want to bring up, you said fear. Of course, many of us have fear of failure, but flip that around. You describe somebody who, very attractive. I have a friend in my circle, a man who, we look at him, we're like, you could be a model, dude. And he dresses well. Everybody always says, here he comes. Like he always looks polished and he looks great. He's not succeeding. He's trying. He's doing all the right things, but he's not getting to the point where he feels he should be at. And looking at him and knowing what he does, he should be, more elevated. Why? I believe he has a fear of failure. So
yes,
there's another.
I
I'm sorry. I take that back. My bad. A fear of success. He has a fear of success. He's afraid to succeed. And, he's, and that, where do I get that from? Listening to some of the things he says, well, if I do better, people are going to look at me different and I'll have a better car and maybe a better house and all of that. So now self-sabotaging that. Where does that come from? I don't know. Probably the childhood, right?
Yeah, actually, almost like 95% everything comes from childhood, even before we're born or something. The point is we don't know. Most of the time we don't know.
Right.
Until we're doing hypnosis. And these kind of negative emotions can pass down to our next generation. And it happened to a lot of people actually during the hypnosis. It's back to their great-great-grandfather or great-great-grandmother or something, pass on to their parents, pass on to them. It could pass on even to their children or their grandchildren. So which is very scary. So I think it is so important. We have to fix it on our generation. So our next generation gonna be so much better, happier, more successful, which we all want to, right? We all want our children more successful, healthier, happier. But if we don't fix the root cause, they're gonna be limiting beliefs on them still. They're going to be the fear of being success or something. So let's try to fix on our generation.
Absolutely. What's holding us back? Us. That's really what it is. What's the best way to find you if it's for hypnotherapy, Dr. Kelly? Is it your acupuncture website?
Yeah, they can call me 347-885-1865, text me, or go to my website. I have a form they can fill in. So they can tell me they want to do acupuncture, they want to do hypnosis. Yeah, I will help people at whatever way I can because I really, really want everybody can be happier, more successful, more healthier, happier.
Right there with you. And congratulations again. You take the hypnotherapy, you strip away the beliefs that we have, and then whatever remains, I'm guessing you could take care of that with acupuncture and with hypnotherapy, virtual, anywhere. You could be in your pajamas, comfortable at home doing it. Fantastic. Kelly121acupuncture.com, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you for being here today. And again, congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo. I love that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else. Childhood hunger. 15 million kids struggle with hunger right here in America. And yet, every year, billions of pounds of surplus food in the U.S. go to waste instead of going to the children in need. Feeding America is working to change this. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks rescues this surplus of food to help provide meals to families in virtually every community in the United States, including yours. But they just can't do this alone. Join me in the fight against hunger in America. For more information on what you can do to get involved, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.